Hi, I'm Catherine McIntosh. I am the founder and CEO of Listed, and I'm very happy to have Elena Saradidis today with us. She's with Royal LePage Signature, one of our favorite brokerages, and I'm really looking forward to learning what she loves about Listed, what she'd like, how she uses it with clients. I think it's going to be fun and educational. Elena?
I can't wait.
Do you remember when we first met?
I do, but our first meeting wasn't our first meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
So I first met Catherine, or what I should say, the fake first meeting, was introduced by my then broker of record, who wanted me to learn about the Listed app and
Right.
see if it was a good fit for our office.
Yeah.
And if it was a good investment opportunity.
Yeah.
And I remember I sat down with Catherine and she was swiping right and swiping left and showing me how the app worked. And I sat there and I'm like, have we met before?
I said,
she
no, I
goes,
don't think so.
Exactly. And I said, no, I think I know about this app.
And I said, really?
And I said, do you live at 1030 King?
Oh my God, and that's when I realized, and then I said to you, I don't let a single person who comes into my condo building escape me if I see them and I can tell they're a realtor without learning about Listed. When was that?
At least 2 years prior to us meeting in person. So I remember I was in the building, I was getting a lockbox.
Yeah.
And you approached me and said, you're an agent. And I said, yes, I am. I'm like, do you need any help with real estate? And you said, no, but I've got to show you this app. I'm like, okay. So she pulls out this phone and said, look at this app. It's the best thing that's ever come to market. You need to get your clients on it. It's fantastic. They'll always stay connected to you. It's just a fantastic app. And she showed me a little bit about the app. And lo and behold, 2 years later, she's sitting in a coffee shop with me, pitching me the app for my office.
It's so amazing. Okay, so, it's interesting. From that first meeting, it's like one of these things that's just kind of like quiet and benign. Like you see it, and then when's that moment when you get it? Because I remember you said to me, once I showed it to you the second time, you know what? I like to try everything, and if I get it, I love it. That's all I do and use. So what clicked for you, and when did it click for you? Because you got it to try it, and then you were at one point hooked.
Well, I remember you saying, if you try the app, I'm sure you're going to love it. Just give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah.
So I sat and I played around with the app, and eventually it clicked for me, because the best way to describe it is it's Tinder for real estate. Let's call it as it is.
It's true, it's
Yeah.
true.
Tinder for real estate, you swipe right if you like it, you swipe left if you don't.
And very important, neutral. So if you keep
Yes,
liking
you
it, you'll get
seeing
too many.
it again. Exactly, just like Tinder. So you sit at home, you're laying in bed, and you want to see what's in your area.
Yeah.
Whether it be for sale or for rent, you open up the app, you say, what's my closest location to me?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, all these listings pop up. You can filter it by location, you can filter it by price point, and you swipe right or left. And the nice thing is if you swipe right, it will notify you if something changes. So let's say the property gets leased, it gets sold, it gets terminated, it gets
Price
relisted.
changes.
It gets notified.
Yep.
So that was a fantastic value add, because I'm not searching for the property again in the future. And for the consumer, for someone that's just looking to buy or looking to sell, these other websites don't show you what happened to that listing until after the fact.
Right.
It just disappears off of realtor.ca, and then they
Yeah.
look at 3 different websites to figure out the actual sold price. But this app tells you exactly what happened. It was sold conditionally, it came off the market, it was re-added to the market. You had real-time data.
Yes, through you. Because on these other apps, they're getting the listing agent, the one person not in their favor if they're a buyer client, right? And it's confusing about who to call or what to do. So that is really the key. I was so excited to tell you, because you want the person, we want as Listed, the person to know that whatever contact they tap is a full-time, excellent, engaged agent, right? Like, look how you've grown your team even since I first met you, right? So like, now you've got your whole team.
They're all
on
unlisted.
Listed.
Yeah.
And it's so great, because you know that as they share it, and all your clients and their clients share it, your team's growing, and all those people are able to, instead of Googling on the internet, open Listed. Imagine any real estate sign out there, they just open listed, and it's like you are now on every single real estate sign in Canada.
I think it's a huge value add for sure. You could be standing in front of a building or standing in front of a house and you could see the for sale sign, or you could be like, this is a very cool building. I wonder is there anything available? Is there anything for sale? You click on the app and you see real live data right away. And if you are interested in that property, you just click connect to the agent and you're connected to your real estate agent.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're just contacting random people to get information. You can find the information from one source. The other really cool feature of this app is that if I click on the listing and I scroll down, I can actually see if it was listed previously, what it originally sold for, if it was traded. I can find all of that data. I can see photos of what it looked like at the original state. So did these people renovate before they're selling it this time? Do they want a premium for those renovations? I can see that all, and my customers can see it too. So it's a huge value add from that perspective too, because they were using a bunch of different websites to see the exact same information.
Exactly, exactly. So for example, I'm your client right now in the app, as you know. So when I open my phone and I tap Find Me, I get this property in front of me, which happens to be over at 508 Wellington. And when I tap it, you know, I get contact agent and I can just text you and I get Elena.
I got notified.
when you open it,
yes,
who do you contact?
I contact the listing agent.
See, it's all in the right order.
Exactly.
The consumer gets their agent, the agent gets the other agent.
So as much as this is a great app for potential buyers or for potential tenants, what I find valuable, or what I say is the best value add for this, is if you're running late to an appointment, you can find all the sale data in the area that you're going to look at without having to log into MLS. I could be driving down, quickly click on the phone and say what has sold in the last 30 days.
Yep.
And because it's integrated with maps, it can tell me in my location what has sold in the last few days.
Yep.
So I can swipe through very quickly and automatically have a very good idea of what the value of the property I'm about to enter into is. So it's really good for busy agents that are always on the go, that don't always know or don't always have enough time to do the research before they have to be right in front of the client.
Actually, there was an agent who had a safe search going over to a client's house for a listing presentation. And he actually always, he doesn't leave any listing appointment without getting them on listed. So even if he doesn't get it, he's the agent in their app for the whole time, but he's never not got it. So that hasn't happened yet. But he was driving over to the listing appointment, and just before he went in, he got an alert on listed. And a new listing in the neighborhood had come out in the time frame of him driving over to that listing. And so he wasn't caught off guard. He not only he didn't even have to look for it, he got notified about it. So that was one of the other things. Have you used it with seller clients yet?
I have used it with sellers, but it's more so for them to familiarize themselves with what's going on in their area.
Right.
So it's a very good tool to be able to say, you know what, you can get notified when your neighbor comes up for sale.
Yes.
And when they come up for sale for a certain price, you kind of know where you land as well. And then you can see also what your neighbor sells for. You get notified for it. So even for the buyer after the fact, to sit in their home and just to keep a pulse on what's going on in their area, what's being sold, how much is it getting sold for, they already know that without having to do an extreme search.
Exactly, exactly. And really, now that we know that most people are going to make more money from the real estate they buy than the job they have, right? So you're really monitoring your asset, and you're monitoring your asset through your agent who has this tool. And so you want to have these touch points all the time with people. And so we thought of the app as kind of a way to have the content of your conversation be the market, right? Whether you are a seller or a buyer. And in that regard, if your sellers are looking at properties and they want to talk to their neighbor or something, what I love is that when they share it, they're sharing you. So you're spreading and growing. Have you noticed that you've been spreading and growing
organically
to new people?
So what I would say is, when I approach a client about the app, which I do it all the time, I'll basically say, it's like Tinder for real estate, take a look. if you like it, like all my clients are up at midnight looking, I can tell, I can see the notifications, they're up at midnight. If you like it, you can always share it to a friend. This is how easy it is to share it. You just scan the QR code or you text it over and they have it.
Yeah.
So organically, you randomly get notifications that a new client has joined your sphere.
Yeah.
And whenever they look at a property or whenever they do something or need an agent, it automatically comes back to you. So it grows organically just by being an agent that shared it with their client.
Yes.
So the referrals can continue, but in an organic manner. Everyone's nosy. Like everyone has the nosy neighbor. We were all the nosy neighbors. This is how we got into the field that we got into. We wanted to know what our neighbors' houses look like, what they sold for. We want to know the information.
Yeah.
So this was a great way to know the information without even having to have a conversation, not even a Google search. You just open up your phone and say, where am I right now? And now I can find out everything about my area.
Yes, yes. And okay, so that's so great from the consumer side. From the technology side, where we created this thing and the whole goal was to create a tool that would connect consumers and agents together in this harmonious relationship so it was good for the both of them. So I wanted to ask you, I think as a realtor you must get 10 emails a day with different services to buy or get or whatever, and we noticed that all the other services sort of charge you for leads, or you buy an area, or you do these things. So originally we had this one question we would ask ourselves: what would love do? And so the reason we made that kind of organic network effect referral system where we don't get any part of it, we just wanted to say, if somebody likes something, their natural inclination is to share it. So that becomes a perfect, genuine opportunity for them to get a good agent. So your network is growing by using it, but you don't pay any extra. You basically, the more you use it, it's like the Peloton we were talking about earlier. The more you use it, the better it works.
Yes.
Right? And if you don't use it, it doesn't work.
Definitely.
Yeah. Before listed, what did you do?
Realm.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Which, like, anyone that's in real estate knows, and I'm going to get so much backlash from the real estate organization about this, but it's a Stone Age system. Like, everything related to real estate for the longest time, it's like, it's been around since the dinosaurs walked the earth. Nothing has changed. Technology is lost in it. I have a bunch of tech clients that I would even put on those websites, and their response would be, there has to be something better. Because it doesn't make sense that real estate's been around forever. People have been buying, selling, transacting in real estate, and no one has come up with a better software or a better tool to use to look at real estate. This is why everything catches fire the moment there's a new website or a new platform that people can use to search for homes. Like, it is a hot topic.
Yeah.
You can't say we walk into a room and people never mention real estate. The first thing they ask you is, they find out you're a real estate agent, they go, how's the market?
Yeah.
That's the first thing they ask. And the second thing they go is, how much do you think my house can sell for?
Yep. Yeah.
So how easy would it be at being able to say, you know what, your house is probably worth around this, but look, I used to be the nosy neighbor. Let me set you up on this, and it will notify you anytime a house around your area is coming up for sale.
They must love it. Yeah.
And they connect.
Yeah.
And then when their friends are asking about certain things about real estate or about property, they connect them. So it becomes an organic way to connect more people through real estate. And eventually they'll stand in front of a house, swipe on it and say, oh, it's priced at this number. Let me contact an agent. And they're not contacting the agent on the sign, they're contacting me through the app.
Yeah.
So then they'll call me directly and say, hi, Elena, I saw this property. Can you show it to me? No problem, I'm coming right now.
See, that actually, you just hit the nail on the head for how this app even got started. I was walking down the street, like just total consumer, didn't even have a thought about real estate. And I was like arrested, like stopped in my tracks, seeing this cute little house in Kensington. And I'd never thought about buying a house. And I looked at it and I looked at the sign. And so right away I called the number thinking what you just said would happen. You'd be right over to show me, or someone would get back to me. But I actually reached the front desk. The person didn't even know what house it was. I had to go to the end of the street, get the street name, put it together with the number so she could say, I'll have the agent paged. I'm like, is that like a fax machine? Like, that doesn't sound like anything's going to happen soon. So then I just Googled it. And then when I Googled it, I was like, oh, is every agent selling this house? Because you know how it's just pages and pages and pages of the same listing with different agents. How is the consumer supposed to navigate this?
They're not. They're calling the first agent that comes up on Google.
Yeah.
And that's who they're getting connected with. And if that agent is smart enough to put their cell phone number on, they've picked up the client.
And if they pick up the client and call them, if they don't have listed, it's still just one call. Like, how do you keep connected? That was the thing I wanted to solve. Is I wanted to make sure when I was in front of that house and I tapped the button, I got what you just said you give your clients. An instant connection to you forever, whenever I need you. Okay, let me jump ahead and share the vision. I was thinking, I'm your client in the app right now. Let's say I go on vacation to France. If I'm just sitting on the Champs-Elysees and I tap Find Me and a little pied-à-terre pops up and I get Elena, why would I get Elena if you're selling Toronto real estate in France? It's because I'm gonna have the same chaos of internet garbage if I'm in France. So if I say, Elena, I wanna see this, and you're connected in the expert network to Richard in France, you can just reply to me, how's Thursday at 4? And set it up, and then I'm good. I mean, is that appealing to you? Do you have people that actually have moved other places or look from other places?
Definitely. It's a referral network. The more people move all the time, they move provinces, they move countries, they look at investing in different markets.
Yeah.
And there is something to be said about staying connected with those people and being able to refer them to agents that have the same level of standard or the same level of professionalism that you give them.
That's key. That's key, because how are they supposed to find the person in that new place without you?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's Google.
Yeah.
So it's either you get lucky or you don't get lucky, but unless you have someone that's well connected, that knows who does business in every market, it's going to be it's going to be a challenge.
Okay, that just reminded me of something we were talking about a minute ago. You were actually talking about this change you just made with your new team and everything, came to a new brokerage. And the brokerage you ended up joining, which I love, wasn't actually at the top of your list or on your radar. And then Tom Story talked to you.
Yes.
And so that just goes back to this importance of people we respect, know, and trust, making a recommendation that then we listen to because of who they are. And now here you are.
Exactly.
This,
We've given Tom enough credit.
he's not even
No,
on listed yet. Does
but-
he even know about listed yet?
We'll have a conversation on Monday.
Okay.
No, but it's so funny because they even said it. We had like a team meeting and they're like, Tom brought Elena over. And it was a very organic conversation. You're more likely to join something or to do something if someone that you respect or that you know does the same kind of business that you do
Yeah.
recommends it. Like we were walking down the street and I saw a real estate agent friend of mine a few minutes ago and I said, this is Catherine, she's the founder of Listed. Do you have Listed?
Yeah, yeah.
And he goes, no, but he automatically downloaded the app and odds are he is now going to get listed just based
Yeah.
on that conversation. You're more inclined to do things if you know that someone else that you respect in the industry is doing it as well.
Yes.
So it was a natural conversation, a natural change. But yeah, my whole team is now on Listed and Tom now will be on Listed.
Tom, you don't know if you don't know this yet. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't know this yet.
Okay, that brings up another thing I want to talk to you about. One of the things we tried really hard to address was that the world has changed in terms of how we advertise, and it is all about time and attention. And I think the maximum time you have is a second and a half. I was actually watching this young guy on the streetcar, and he literally gave everything like like it didn't even get a full second sometimes when he was looking at it, you know? So to your point, if somebody is sending you a listing or an app or something, in the world of social media and in the world of marketing, the chances they're going to open it is so slim. They need to see it 100 times before they're even going to pay attention. But when it's your partner or your best friend or your mom and they send it to you or you send it to them, they open it. So we were talking before about guessing the price on a listing or leaving a listing note that your client can find and inviting somebody else to guess the price. So these are new ways of engaging, coming from somebody you know with something you're interested in, and that opening it up and getting engaged happens right away. Have you played much with that part of the app, the engagement part, or notice the time and attention savings, like go through your clients and send them stuff particular to them? Or
full transparency, I'm not using the app to the full ability that I should be using it, which, every time I bump into you, you're like, Elena, how did you not know about this feature?
Oh gosh.
And I love the app. No, I do, but I use it for what I need it for right now, which is Tinder for real estate.
Yeah.
Swipe right, swipe left. If I'm in a pinch and I need to know about what's sold in the area very quickly, I put 2 filters in and I automatically know everything that I need to know about the area or about the location. That's fantastic.
Like, do you even need to save searches even?
I don't. Okay. But what I do like, there's a feature of the app that if you scroll down, you can actually type in how far is your work by transit or by, and that's fantastic. Because how many times do clients turn around and say, well, where's the closest station? Right. How do I get to work from here? Will it take me less than 45 minutes? Is it going to be longer than that? Maybe I won't be interested in it. So they can set their parameters based on how quickly do they need to get to work or to school or to anything like that. And that's a huge value add. So I use the app, but I use it for the parts that I find tremendously valuable. The rest of it is like, oh my God, it does this too? How did I not know? So every time I see you, I find out something new about the app.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love discovering what matters to you. Wow. So for its greatest utility, I always think of it as increasing your efficiency, maximizing your presence, because everyone who shares it gets you, and then increasing your prosperity, because through efficiency and presence, right, you do more deals and make more money and reach more people more easily. But it feels like you really use it for efficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not enough time in the day.
There's not enough time in the day.
And to log into the MLS system takes more time.
Yeah.
And on the phone, the system's not as great. So to be able to open up something where I don't have to log into, I can just swipe right or swipe left, find exactly what I'm looking for, know the pricing. If I want to call the agent directly, I can call the agent directly.
Right.
Like there's been times where I found the listing, copied the address, go into Broker Bay, put the address, and book the appointment. And I didn't go on MLS.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's so challenging because like MLSs are bound by their geography. So like even if their system was perfect, you're part of 2 boards.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, if you're going to use that app from the MLS, you've got to now give them 2 apps, right? Because you've got to give them the one that comes from the Toronto board, and you've got to give them the one that comes from the other system that you have. So already they're challenged. And then you've got these other tech brokerages, I would say, because we are a tech company because we wanted to make a tool for agents. But we noticed that the money is really in making it for yourself and becoming a brokerage and just getting it all.
Well, you saw that was one of the first questions I ever asked you. Do you see this app ever becoming a brokerage?
And I said,
no.
No, ever, never. Yeah. And
but that's where you can tell that's where the money is. Every single software system out there it's backed by a brokerage.
It's backed by a brokerage, yeah.
And when your clients start searching on those websites, they get hounded by agents from those offices.
Yeah.
So I can't search up a price on certain websites and not get 1,000,010 messages back saying, hi, I'm so-and-so from this brokerage. I'd love to show you that listing and a bunch more. And I see it on my own listings as well. When I see certain brokerages that have a bunch of showings for it, I know what's happening. Their search engine is very good.
Yeah.
And they generate a lot of leads. And those leads are people that don't know where to look.
Yeah.
And they found Google and they found this random agent, and that agent now has their business.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. You picked up the client, but how do you hold on to the client?
Yes.
And with more and more websites and different technology getting put out there, where maybe today you're the hot new thing,
Yeah.
what will happen tomorrow? So
Yeah.
there was a need for a version of technology that kind of collected everyone as a whole,
Yeah.
but was run predominantly by agents that could be from any office.
Yes.
So it's not selective to one brokerage getting everything. It's selected by that agent. If their clients like working with that agent and like working with the app, they refer the app to other people. The other people that get the app are automatically connected to that agent. So
Yeah.
it is a version of repeat and referral because your clients will always be looking on that app.
With you.
Exactly. So even when I can sense my clients is now, they've been there for the year mark, the 2-year mark, I can see that they've popped up again on the search.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a good touch point because now I know, give them a call. Maybe it's not about this specific property, but I can just do a check-in. How are you doing? You notice what the other one in your building has sold for or in your area has sold for.
Or they're ready to get a cottage.
Exactly. Are you interested in looking at some other real estate? Do you have any
Yeah.
questions about what's going on in the market right now? It's a touch point. They were ready and organically you knew that.
Yes. Exactly. And that was the thing about the applications that are coming from the MLSs, and besides the fact you have to give them two, is a lot of the progressive MLSs are actually embracing companies like ours. Like we work with MLSs who want to make an open front end of choice, so you could choose, like we're a technology provider for 48 MLSs across Canada. The thing is that we noticed if you don't have listed and you are using your MLS app, if your clients don't love it, are they on a Friday night in bed fervently going through like social media, the MLS app? So you want to give them that thing.
I know I'm not the only agent out here that has gotten these messages from clients, but I'll get emails from 12 different websites that my clients are looking at.
Yeah.
And they'll say, these are the 8 properties we want to see. And there's no rhyme, method, reasoning behind why they looked at these websites, but they had a bunch of different search engines set up at a bunch of different websites to get notified about property. And some of them don't even update on time.
Right. Actually, that's data accuracy is a huge problem, especially on the web. Yeah.
So they'll be like, why didn't I see this when it first came up? And you're like, you did. Because you're set up on the automatic search with MLS. But MLS isn't that accurate either. Because you have to pinpoint the exact criteria those clients are looking for. And maybe you can set it up for an automatic search, but the automatic search will show them all the data, not just exactly what they want.
Yeah.
So that's why they're on 12 different search apps and 12 different search engines, because they want to see stuff in real time. So that's something else I like about the listed app, is that you see stuff pretty quickly. It's not a...
In real time, it comes directly as the MLS is updated. It basically, the slowest one still comes within the hour. Most of the MLSs are refreshed instantly. And that's the other thing, is that in a lot of the different applications, you don't have all the listings. So the moniker was really all the listings through your agent. So from any MLS across Canada at this point, until we expand, your clients can get all the listings. And then we were just talking about the exclusive listings for those few that do need to be off market. You, because you're part of a brokerage that is part of that, can see the exclusive listings from other top agents that have these listings. But your clients just see a card that says,
there's an exclusive listing in the neighborhood.
And to contact you.
Exactly. And when they contact you and you click on the link, it will show you the exact property that was exclusive. So you can tell them more about that property or give them more information about it.
And it protects the seller in the sense that they don't actually get the address or the price or the details. Just you do when they share it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so efficiency, saved you time, growing it with your team. What do you want for the future? Or are there any, I know you said you want the school data.
I want school boards on it. You already know.
Yes.
Add the school boards. Because it's funny, a lot of people that are looking for real estate, eventually they graduate out of the investor mindset and they're looking for family homes.
Yeah.
And what's the number one thing people are looking for that are having a family or starting it is where the kid's going to go to school. So when we're thinking where the kid's going to go to school, how do we find that information on MLS or on any website?
Yeah.
And how challenging is it to find all that information out?
Okay, this is so interesting. One of the challenges of the reason we don't have it on is because the data is so inconsistent and not correct. Like, for example, you could have a catchment area and then that side of one side of the street, the houses won't be in that catchment area for the school, and the other side they will, right? And it's so challenging. But there is roughly that data. We just have to have the caveat of double check, and of course you'd already know that because they'll have a great agent. So the agent has to check. It's just an idea about roughly what schools are nearby.
Yeah,
it would still be useful.
It's definitely useful because the consumer is interested in knowing it. So I had a client once, and this is what kind of sparked the conversation, because we talked about this a few times now.
Yeah.
I know you're working on it, but the reason why it came top of mind is because I had a client that created a spreadsheet.
Oh, yes.
And the spreadsheet had about 8 different attachments and 1,010,000 different websites, because their goal was to get the best school district. They didn't care about anything else. They were like, the house could be a shack. Like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like, but we want it to be in the best school district. That's all we care about. So they had 1,010,000 websites, and God forbid they bought a house not in that school district. So we were doing a lot of research to make sure that whatever property they end up with is actually in the school district that they want. Because like you said, they could be on one side of the street and it goes into that school, or the other side goes into a different school.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, it's amazing how involved some clients get, hey? Like, one of the goals with the app is that you're working together. You know, like if I'm gonna go buy clothes, I like to look in the shop alone first, right? Look at stuff. But then at one point when I go in the change room, I want someone just at my ready to be, I need another pair of pants in this color, I need some shirts, can you get me a belt? And you know, there's a point at which I think in the real estate space, like, do you find you're attached at the hip?
Yeah.
When you're in the process there of working with someone. Do you find the app really keeps you deeply connected?
It keeps me connected to the client, to the fact that they're looking as well, and if they see something they like, they'll send it over. Like, I set up someone last night on the app. We were looking at some property, and I said, clearly you guys love window shopping. Like, you do. You like looking on your own and being able to see what's on the market. Use this app, swipe, show me a couple properties that you like, and I'll give you feedback on those ones.
Oh, I love it.
And if you like any of those after I give you feedback, we'll go see them. Because some people are the window shoppers. They need to be able to see everything. They want access to seeing everything.
Yes, yeah.
Some other people are not like that, where they're just like, show me exactly what I like, and I'll buy it. And I have a mixture of clients that are like that. They're like, don't even call me with like, let's go see all the properties. Just show me exactly what's the best investment. If it's at a good price, let's just put in an offer and call it a day. But you have other clients, especially first-time buyers, that they want to know what's available, what's in the market. They are research-based because it's part of their age demographic now, where they do want to know information. And if information's at the click of their fingertips, they're going to use it. So something that tailors that age demographic, which is why I bring up Tinder so much in this, is because that's the demographic that grew up with Tinder. Like, we had it. So when you swipe right or swipe,
houses.
they're buying houses. And now you're buying houses the same way you were looking at an app to find a partner.
Exactly.
That's it. So you want to know the information like you would on the app. How many days on market, how old. you want to know everything before you even have a conversation about going to see it.
Absolutely.
It's research based. So they want to see this information. They'll ask the agent afterwards for their opinion. Because I do have clients, they'll say, what about this building? This looks nice. What about this? And I'll say, I would never buy in that area, or I wouldn't buy in that building, or this is the problem with it. This is the things people don't tell you about. You wouldn't know it. You can't replace the agent, at least a good agent. You can't replace them because they have market data or market knowledge that you couldn't just get by looking on an app. But they want to know the information. They want to know what's available. It's not as simple as like, this is the best 2-bedroom in the area. Okay, but what other 2 bedrooms are in the area? And they want to be able to see, okay, the pricing looks consistent. Like, everything in this area is selling for this price. okay, I understand the market and why the price is the way it is. Like, our job is to educate our clients.
Exactly.
This is just another tool used to educate them.
Exactly, exactly. That made me think, when you brought up technology and the demographic that had Tinder, about, you know, ChatGPT being all the rage and machine learning and AI and everything. So, I mean, it's just a natural given that these things are incorporated into our app. And actually back in 2019 even, you know, that was, you know, one of the first things is that the action of the user starts to inform what they like. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever met someone who's saying, I want to buy this, but then everything they're looking at is different from what they said they wanted?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
I actually have a saying for it. It's champagne taste beer budget. So they'll tell me exactly what their budget is. They will not move from the budget, but they'll explain everything on their must-have list.
Right.
And the must-have list does not match the budget.
Yeah.
So I usually tell people you can get 2 out of these 3 things. You can get the location, you can get the must-have list, or you can get the price. Pick 2.
Yeah.
And they'll say, well, our price can't change. Okay, so if your price can't change, then something's got to give. Either your location or your must-have list.
Yeah.
And I go, but here's the secret. Your location can't be changed. The house can be renovated.
Yeah.
So why would one take precedence over the other? Like, if you really, really want your must-have list, drive out until you qualify for what you want.
Yeah.
But if that can give, get in the area, because you can't move the house.
Exactly. Actually, that's just so fundamental. Yeah, the price is elastic. You can have one house that all of a sudden, with nothing on the market a month later, is $200,000 more, nothing changed. Or it's less. You're right, the location is unchangeable.
Yeah.
See, there's so many things that it's so vital to have a great agent for. So one of our ideas is that, you know, with learning, basically the app just learns as people use it, so that it helps them, it helps you kind of back to efficiency, know what you want more quickly and with less friction, right?
Also, you don't know what you want until you actually get into the property.
You're right.
But it's the window shopping. It's the window shopping. Like, how many times have you walked in and there is, again, features of real estate that are like Tinder. You see the photos and you go in and you feel like you've been catfished.
Yeah, it's not the same at all in real life.
It's not like you have to go in and see it. But again, it's a tool that helps the consumer see what is out there in the market and educate themselves on why what we're telling them or what we're showing them is the right fit for them.
Yes, yes. Actually, that brings up price estimates.
Okay.
And I know there's a few apps, famous with Zillow.
I hate them.
But it's so hard, right? Because you give your client the accurate data, and then this estimate on the app, which is always lagging behind the market, right? So if you go with what is being suggested on these other apps, you're always going to be off. You're going to pay too much or you're going to pay too little, because it's always lagging.
So what the app doesn't tell you, because they are computer generated.
Yeah, it's an AVM.
They don't tell you if they're in the right school district. So if they're on the opposite side of the street, sometimes they're more valuable.
Right.
They don't tell you if it's renovated or unrenovated. So when they make the estimation, it's a general pricing. So the renovated house on the street that's like the Taj Mahal is not going to sell for the same price that the 5, quote unquote, lesser homes on the block sold for.
Exactly.
But that is going to weigh in. They also take into consideration what you list it for. So if you're listing it for multiple offers and you're listing it low, the estimation will also be low.
Exactly.
If you're listing it extremely high, the estimation could be higher than what the actual value of the property is, because there is errors in this data.
Yeah.
So what I tell my clients always, especially when we're competing in a hot market and we're in multiple offers, and they say, well, this website said it's worth this, so let's offer them this. I go, guys, how quickly did you find that price? Like, really quickly. We Googled the address. And I go, if you Googled it, the 11 other offers on the table, don't you think they Googled it too? So if they all believe the house is going to sell for 1.2, what is that house actually going to sell for now? 1.3,
for sure.
1.4. Why? Because everyone started there, and after whoever wants the house knows, you guys are all putting in offers at 1.2. Where do I need to land to be able to actually get the house? So people are paying more because of these estimations.
Yes. Yes. And imagine if you did a CMA or a price estimate yourself, not based on months of inventory, supply and demand, and based on the list price, right? Ridiculous. So it's good that you're bringing that clarity. We were thinking, so I want your advice on if we were going to add an estimator, the 3 things in my mind that it has to do. It has to be, make it clear that your agent knows the most, right? The phone and the computer has not been in the house. They haven't touched it, tasted it, smelled it. You know, they haven't been in it. And having an aggregate of guesses is a lot better than having a single guess, because then they start to understand, oh, it's just data points taken from certain places, right? And then taking the right data. So I think the biggest indicator of price is demand, supply and demand, months of inventory,
You're right.
MOI. And I couldn't believe when we looked into it just how many things weren't being taken into consideration. Some of these valuation models had something on noisy DuPont with a tiny backyard at the same value as a house on a quiet street, a block
Because they
north.
don't look at that. But any agent worth anything will tell you a main street is 100 to 200,000 less than a side street.
Exactly.
And if they want to use that math, that's math you can use. Like change the numbers up to reflect that. But it's a fact. These estimates on price are not accurate, and they're causing a lot more confusion to the consumer than they're creating clarity.
It's true. It's true.
So even with like the sellers, let's say, let's flip the switch. Maybe it's not just buyers that are looking at it, but a seller is looking at it and saying, well, the estimator said it's worth that, so it's worth that.
Right. And then you're trying to sell it.
And there's no reason why it should be worth that. That could be the case too. It could be over the valuation, because maybe you walked in and the person that was living in that property for years and years and years was smoking in the house.
Yeah.
Now this house is not going to be valued at the same as any house on the street that never had a smoke smell in it.
Yeah.
Maybe they had renovated bathrooms. They could have had the same number, but not the same kind of renovation. That doesn't get taken into consideration. But now your price is reflective of that, because the last 4 were fully renovated homes.
Yeah.
So it does confuse the consumer a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even lot sizes, like it's shocking at how off it could be. Like I walked into a house the other day and the lot was incredible. Like for a semi-detached home in that area, the lot was fantastic.
Yeah.
The estimation on the value and the sold price were completely different. I think they were almost 300,000 off.
Wow.
So anyone looking at that will say they overpaid.
Right.
Which maybe they did overpay. But I want to know the person that paid's reasoning behind buying the house at that value.
Right.
Was there a sentimental aspect of it? Do they know something that we don't know? Do they know what the
Exactly.
renovated house down the street is planning to sell for, or what the last one sold for? There has to be some reasoning to why they're buying it at a certain price. It could be that they really want to live next to the in-laws and they'll pay more money to live there.
See, that gets into this psychographic information, which you only have as a realtor, which is why I think the human element is never going to disappear, and it's so important. You talked about clarity. That made me think about how important it is to not just bring clarity, but to decrease anxiety, right? If you think you overpaid or you didn't sell for the right amount, that's anxiety inducing. So that kind of clarity.
Okay, but this is a fun fact, and everyone
Okay.
should know this.
Okay.
There has never been a buyer in the history of buyers that believed that they underpaid. Like they always think they paid too much, and there's never been a seller that's been like, I sold for way too much. They're always gonna say I sold for too little. It's a stat. I've never met a buyer that's like, you know what? I underpaid for that house. It's rare. To be fair, I've been that buyer before. It's rare.
Yeah.
But the majority of buyers will say, I should have paid less. And the majority of sellers will say, I should have sold for more. It's very, very rare that they're content with exactly what happened.
Yeah.
No matter how much profit margin they made. They could have bought it for $1 1,010 years ago, and now they're selling it for $3 million, and they'll still say, I could have gotten more.
Oh my gosh. See, so, there's reality and then there's perception. Okay, so I'm really excited to ask you this one thing because the whole point of Listed is connecting and staying connected over time. So people often, because we have a tech company, ask me, what do you think about what's the next thing? And they're often shocked that my answer is the next thing is that the technology is completely invisible and the best technologies will reveal the personal connection. Like you said, when I was standing in front of that house and I couldn't reach anyone, but if I had you, I could have had an appointment to go in and see it right away.
But it's not even that. It's the can I afford that house, or I wonder what that house is worth. That's the part of the app that I love. I could be walking down the street and a friend of mine can say, oh my God, did you see that for sale sign? And I'll be like, yeah, I did see it. Do you want to see what it looks like inside? Because like you already know, I'm addicted to the market. I'm looking at MLS every single day religiously, like 15 times a day. I'm refreshing the button to see what else has popped up. But if they want to see inside the house, I can show it to them. Like, look what it looks like. From a click of a button, I didn't even try. I unlocked my phone.
Hey, that reminds me, has any client yet, or maybe they don't know they can do this, if you're walking down the street and you see a house you love and you think, I wish that was for sale.
I've done that.
And you put in the address?
I've picked my house. No, like this is like my mortgage broker, which I think you also know my mortgage broker and my property lawyer. They have a bet going on how long it will take me to knock on this door. Yeah. I have it set. Because God forbid it pops up on the market and I miss it.
Right.
No, I've picked my house.
Okay, so you tap the star and the minute, if that came on the market, you'd be on it in an instant.
Know. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also set it up because, for example, if I know that a client of mine has interest in a certain property or in a certain area, I'm out doing showings for a predominant part of my day.
Yeah.
I'm in meetings, I'm taking on new clients. Like I want to know if a property pops up or if a change in status happens without having to log into MLS.
Yeah.
So I star any of those properties so I can get notified.
Yeah, I had an agent say, why would you star a sold property?
Oh, because I want to see if it comes back to market.
I know they didn't know that you could do that.
No, I can tell. So
Yeah.
even if it's, for example, a property you saw in the past, or maybe it's a property that you think would be a good reno, or something that the deal fell through or it was terminated, you can flag the terminated listing and when it comes back to market, you know.
Be the first one in.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times someone will list low, then they terminate it, then it's about to come out, and then if it doesn't sell on offer night and it comes back out, you've got that beautiful window of getting an offer in. Now there's no offer date, so now it's all timing and strategy.
Yeah.
And you're first in there, which is serving your client.
Definitely.
Wow.
Again, they only allow you to star, and I know this because, again, addicted to real estate, 100 listings on MLS.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've hit the max multiple times and I have to like take them all out.
Yeah.
But every time I refresh, so I go on MLS and say 0 days on market, how many properties are available in the market that I'm searching in, and they all pop up. If there's something that I like or my clients have bought in that area or that it could be of interest to my client, I flag it.
Yeah.
They only allow you to star 100 listings. I actually think it might be 99, and then they tell you that you've ran out of stars.
Oh my gosh.
So you have to go back and unstar or like refresh or do something to make sure you can add the new ones in.
Oh my God, it's a star scarcity.
Yeah, it's a thing. And if they terminate the listing, you see that it's terminated. You don't see when it comes back up. It doesn't notify you. You just have the old listing starred. So you have to go back in, then click on history, then find out the history. With this app, it's a little easier because it just comes to my phone. And I could be doing anything. I could sit here with you right now, look on my phone and say, oh, this one sold conditionally. And I would already know. I went and saw this property yesterday, today it sold conditionally.
Okay, you, I think, said we hadn't done a saved search yet. So this was an example. If you had a client, you probably already do, who wanted to live in the Shangri-La, just as an example, okay? You can circle the building, say, let me notify me of anything that comes up in this building, and then I like to save a second one, notify me of anything that sells in the running 30 days. So back in the day on MLS, you could create a notice pages, right, where you went C2 and notify me if anything happens. So we wanted to have it unlisted where you could forget C1 or C2, or if it's W2, W1, like you make whatever boundary you want, you save it, and when you go to your save search, it just pulls up and you have a running tally of exactly what was sold or available in that time frame. That if you've chosen 10 days, you could even put a 1 and say, show me everything that's sold or come out in the last 1 day. And you go to check it.
I think you
and it comes
actually
out.
saw it when I first opened up the app when you walked in.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had a 1 day tally going for a condo under 750, and it's because yesterday I was out for showings.
Oh, yeah.
And while I was out for showings, I'm like, let me just check and see if anything has popped up that I've missed.
Right.
And I made my little circle or my little random shape in the area that we were searching in, and I clicked that bracket of 750, minimum square footage that I wanted, and the area that we're looking at, and I clicked search, and every single listing popped up that has been on the market for a day.
Amazing. Okay, I'm so
And
glad
then
that's useful.
Then we scrolled through and we're like, you know what? It is something popped up that works for us or something didn't.
Yeah.
In that case, nothing popped up yesterday that worked for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we knew it in the car on the way to the next appointment, as opposed to having to wait until I open up my laptop, log into MLS,
Right.
look for that listing. It was a very
Yeah.
quick turnaround.
Yeah. And actually, when you brought up the star scarcity and how it's abundant and listed, the other thing that was really important is that the app worked like social media. I mean, we're just used to being on the phone. There's a statistic that I think is people on apps are using them 80% more than going on websites or looking on websites, not just for when they do it, but when they're actually on it, like the amount of time they spend. So you, if you were in that, in the car driving somewhere, you get a push notification when something happens, like it is sold conditional or it came back on the market or you have a new client.
Or what it sells for.
Or what
Because
it
how
sells
many
for.
times do clients say, keep me in the loop on what it sells for?
Yeah.
And you're busy and you're on the go and you need to update them on the price. I just take a screenshot and send it to them.
So
It's sold, here you go.
Yeah. And even when they're in it themselves, it isn't that they can't do that.
They
or
can do it themselves,
They can do it.
and they love it. Do you know how many times I get messages from clients, and I'll be out doing showings, and they'll just be like, Elena, did you see what 123 Banana Street sold for? Can you believe it? And I'll be like, yeah. I've been in showings all day. I'm like, they had it set up on the app to notify them for all of the listings that we've saw that they had remote interest in.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah.
So they knew all of this information before we could even go that way. Like, oh, okay. Like you've already set it up. You already know it. You're.
So one of the concerns with some agents with all these other technologies, mostly because they probably didn't get to experience it where they're the agent in the app, it was these competing things, was that, oh my gosh, my only value is transcribing the information from MLS. And that's just so far from the truth, especially with someone like you who's seeing it every day. So we wanted Listed to make it so you have richer conversations. Is that happening?
Yes, it is, because like I said before, people like to window shop.
Yeah.
That's an organic thing. Whether you show them the listing, they're going to find the listing. You want to have
Right.
some sort of connection with them where
Yeah.
they can turn around and show you the listing and just be like, what are your thoughts?
Yes.
Instead of going onto a different website, looking up that listing and then get bombarded by an agent that's just trying to take your client.
Yeah, and you know, some
So-
agents say my clients always, oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
You know, some agents say, well, my clients always call me. But how many people do you know who, like, don't want to bother you? Like, they just want to look and do the window
So
shop.
I have a client, actually, this happened a few years ago. They're getting married now. I'm going to their wedding.
Oh, good. Yeah.
But they wanted a 3-year lease term when I met them. They were like, Elena, we're not going to buy. It's not the market. They're young couple looking to, live together. They wanted a long-term home. They didn't want to be kicked out. They're like, we need to negotiate like a longer-term lease.
Yeah.
And I said, no problem. They're like, we're not going to look to buy for years. Like, we're not interested. Like, okay, no problem. We put them into their property. We put them into a fantastic location in North York.
Yeah.
They moved in. A year goes by. After the year, I get a call from them. And they go, Elena, we found our dream home. And I go, what do you mean? They're like, well, we went to the open house.
Yeah.
And my face dropped. I was like, are they about to tell me that they bought a house and they need me to get them out of this rental?
after you
After I
negotiated all that.
No, but also, why didn't they call me?
Right.
Why are you going to see properties without me?
Yeah.
They go. They're curious. Everyone's curious.
Yeah.
Like, if you're telling me you've never walked into an open house without an agent, even though you're represented, like, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
So the clients walk into to the open house. They told the agent we're represented.
Yeah.
Looked around the house, came out, called me, and said, "That's the house where we want to buy."
Yeah.
So they do stay connected with you if you have a value add to add for them. So something that most
Exactly.
people wouldn't know
Yeah.
is that complex, which they already knew that because they were renting in the complex, had Kitech plumbing.
Yeah.
You can't find that out from MLS,
No, or
especially
anywhere.
on
Yep.
the other side of it.
Your agent.
Exactly, your agent's the one that's going to tell you that. Do you know how many real estate agents don't know what Kitech is?
It's sad.
Like, if I go outside right now, I could probably find 1,010,000 agents. And if I asked each one of them, do you know what Kitech plumbing is? They probably wouldn't.
Those are the same agents who don't understand that the house might not appraise
Yeah.
on offer night, but we won't even go there.
Yeah. We have a whole different discussion for that one.
Yeah.
But they called me because they remembered I did a good job for them. I provided value when I did approach them. And then I helped them buy the property and get out of their lease. So it didn't
Exactly.
matter the fact that I wasn't there
Yeah.
because they remembered I stayed top of mind.
You stay top of mind. And we were just looking at how beautiful the open houses are in listed. And so now that you've got listed, those people who love you and remember what you did for you, even the people that are your new clients that have just come that don't even yet know you that well, are now staying connected where when they contact agent from the open house, they're getting you. So we really see this as a way of bringing the agent more business and bringing the consumer a better service.
I think the best way to phrase it is it's another touch point for your clients.
Nice,
That's all
yeah.
it is. It's another touch point for them and an energy and time saver for you. That's
Yeah.
it.
I love it.
Because
I love
instead
it.
of having to go back and be like, look, that one had offer nights last night. What did it end up selling for? You get notified as soon as it got sold. And you
Right.
can tell your client. And
Yeah.
even without you telling them, they're on the app, they can see the information. And you're the one that set them up on it because they needed an agent to be able to see it.
Yeah.
And I tell that to clients all the time, even when I'm in open houses, or I did a showing the other day, and it was a random lead that came in through realtor.ca. And when he came to see it, I said, well, here's the property. What do you think? Do you like the area? They said, we've really been looking on the harbor front. This is kind of what we're looking for. And I said, well, have you seen this app?
Yeah.
Of course they haven't. They don't have an agent right now. They need an agent to be set up on it.
Yeah.
But it was a starting conversation.
Nice.
And they said, well, what is it? And I said, well, it's kind of like Tinder for real estate. Swipe right, swipe left. And if you swipe right, it'll tell you everything you need to know about the property. If you click on it and say, where do you need to go? Where's your school? Where's your home? Where's your parents' house? Where do you have to go for work? You can connect it all to that.
Yep.
And see exactly where you're going. If it ends up selling, you can see the exact sale price. If you scroll down, you can see what it was listed for previously. You can see what they bought it for originally. This is all just through the palms of your hands.
And then when you meet them like this, do you give them the app right there? Do you share
Yes,
them?
I do.
Yeah. How do you do that?
I just say scan.
Oh, you go
Scan
to
the
your
app.
Me tab and they scan the QR code?
I tell them to scan
Nice.
that QR code.
Yeah.
Or I do one better and I say, here, text it to you.
Yeah.
And now I have their number.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Because they might start downloading it and then they might get distracted. And so whenever they go back to it, they're always getting you. Actually, I don't know if you know this. One thing we added that's pretty cool, say it's a partner. Like often would you say that you meet people, whether it's an open house or whatever, and there's two of them, right? They're a couple. Say you share it with the one person and they go home later and download it later, but you didn't text it to their partner. We've actually made it so that by affinity, when the one person is downloading it, if the other person goes to the app store to get it, if they're on the same Wi-Fi at home,
I will go to them.
it'll go to you. So the other person will also get you. That is how crazy, hyper awesome it is that we're always going to every length to make sure the person who gets an agent gets the right agent, right? Gets their agent. Even to the point of if your clients went into the open house of another agent and that agent had listed and your clients scanned the code to get the information on that listing, when they scan it and they open it up, it's you. So it respects agency. The only thing it can't respect is these other agents that aren't enlisted, but then they're just going to they're not going to show up. So it's nice that in all this time, we've been working so hard to build like quality. You talked about you can always only get 2 things instead of 3 things. So the number one thing for us is quality, like data accuracy, consistency. But the number one thing after that is, as I said, connection. And so making sure that the agent is getting their client and their client's sphere of influence, and that's growing
Which
over
I think
time.
is what differentiates yourself from other websites and apps, because
Yeah.
those ones are very tailored towards that brokerage instead of that agent.
Or that MLS. And in the case of other apps that are with other brokerages, you can't even be on it unless you join that brokerage.
Yeah.
And what people don't know is often those brokerages started more as a technology, thinking how they could kind of get the leads. So they don't have agents who can actually serve them, right? So we wanted to make sure that a person could get an agent that's with maybe a quality brokerage that can have the best technology by having their agencies listed. Because it's really hard to be expert at real estate and also expert in technology. Like brokerage leaders are forced to make a decision of, do we buy this technology, do we lease this technology, or do we make this technology? And I always like to go back to like Gary Keller, who I think is amazing, right? The millionaire real estate agent who put $50 million of his own dollars to make an app. And we have all these Keller Williams agents who want listed. Like it's just not easy to make a great real estate technology. And I think it's because it is that soft side, the psychographic side.
I think also what you're doing that's different is you come from the brokerage side of it. You come from being an agent.
I had to, if you can imagine this, actually put on my anthropology hat
Yes.
and go, oh my goodness, I'm a tech person. Do I actually have to go become a real estate agent to figure this out? And one of the things that made it palatable was, as a startup, you're always wondering how you're going to fuel, like gain capital, bring capital into the company. So I thought, well, you know what? It could be a really good test. Like if I learn this at all and well at all, I'll make enough money to take that money and put it into the company. So yeah, I have to say that like,
I think you come from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Most people that come from the tech industry, because there have been players in the game
Yeah.
that have come from tech, trying to convert tech into real estate, but have never done a real estate transaction in their lives.
Right.
They don't know the process. They don't know the real estate side of it.
Yeah.
They just know tech, which is fantastic. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you have to
Yeah.
have someone in tech being able to spearhead this real estate section of it.
Yeah.
But without having someone with a real estate background on the team
Yeah.
to be able to show you where there's holes in the technology, to be able to show you what the real estate agent's pain points are when they're
Yeah.
working with clients, that's why these tech companies aren't doing as well. Because there
Yeah.
have been other people trying to get into the real estate field.
Yeah.
Because it is a field that's untapped. But I do see there's a gap between if the founder of the company has a real estate background versus
Yeah.
if they don't have a real estate background.
Exactly. And it's really interesting too, because there are some technologies where the person was in real estate and wanted to get into the technology to solve a problem they had themselves. But I think it's really, for me anyway, it was really cool to come from a tech background first and then do kind of the deep research of real estate, because when you come from a tech background, really you're just a problem solver. Like, oh, this cup, the handle doesn't feel good. So you're just trying to fix things that are broken. Actually, the handle does feel good, but you're trying to fix things that are broken. And then understanding what it might be like to walk a day in your shoes. Understanding there's 5,000 lockbox on a frozen pole outside a building in the middle of winter and they're frozen shut. Like all the things you...
Do you know what we should talk about? Because we're talking about tech and we're talking about real estate.
Yeah.
Some boards are connected to those electronic lock boxes.
Right.
Now, good and bad thing. Great thing
Yeah.
because agents are forced to come to their appointments on time.
Right, right.
But what happens when your phone dies?
Yeah.
Because how many agents have had phone die, like their phone die in the middle of
Right.
appointments? Because it happens. And now you can't access the lockbox unless you had portable chargers with you.
Can I mention another problem that's like right on par with that? Imagine you're a criminal and you just take a big magnet and you go up to the door and you run it and it breaks the lockbox and it just opens and there's the key. Yeah, no, it's phenomenal, the short-sightedness, right? Like, not everyone, imagine 1 minute past your appointment and now you can't get in. Yeah.
Which fair, like I
Yeah.
understand why it's the way it is. Like you
Yeah.
should be calling the agent or their office and changing the appointment time if you're running late or if you're doing anything. That's just common courtesy, whether or not the lockbox is that way or not.
Yeah.
Especially when it's owner occupied or it's tenants or even if it's
Yeah.
vacant, like common courtesy, you tell someone that you're running late. But the problem I find is if your phone dies.
Yeah.
Because I have traded in other markets, you know that about me.
Yeah.
Like I go the distance. I'm a member of multiple boards.
Yeah.
The reason for that is so I'm research based.
Yeah.
But it has happened to me before where I go all the way to this location, I have the app on my phone, all is good in the world, and my phone died.
I know. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
And that's it. How do you get in?
How do
so
you
you
get in?
see me
Yeah.
on the side of the street trying to charge my phone to my laptop so my phone can open up so I can open up the lockbox. Like thank God I bring chargers with me, but like in what world is there no like safeguard to be like, you know what? Maybe your phone dies.
No, it's true. It's true. I know. There's so many things that technology has to solve. So is there anything else that you want to bring up or ask me or tell us or?
Where do you kind of see Listed go in the next 10 years or in the next 5 years? Like,
Yes.
what do you see is going to be the next thing that the app is going to integrate?
Okay. Not to cut down agents. We love agents, right? That's we're making this for agents. But you've brought it up already, and for those, we wanted consumers to be getting a good agent. So you're enlisted early. As we expand, the price for listed is just going to keep going up. And so we want agents to qualify themselves by, their willingness to have a great tool that they're willing to pay for. And then they offer it for free to their clients. And that helps us because we take the funds from listed, our revenue, and we put that straight back into R&D and to listening to the agents. Like from me, the buck stops here, right? You can reach anyone on our team and get help right away.
I've called you before and been like, hey, how do I've switched offices, how do you change me over?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Actually, I tell agents, as you know, you can text me 24/7. Like if I am asleep, my phone is off. But we're just that responsive, right? Because you want to.
Who's the guy on your team that does the tech?
Oh, Liam, who's
Love him.
Customer support.
Love
yeah,
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Liam. Poor Liam was like, Elena, you have to sign your paperwork. Have you signed it yet? And I'm like, I'm so sorry, send it again. I'll get onto it.
But where I see listed going is where technology is invisible. You have this seamless item that just helps you stay connected to everyone, helps you grow your business. And I would love, within 10 years, if you can sit in any capital city around the world, in any city, and just tap a button and have the property near you pop in and reach your agent, right? Because then it's comfort, it's knowledge, it's whatever needs to happen will happen because I trust this person. And then it's just convenience. Like you just keep sitting as the client having your latte and reading the paper and then everything's solved. And one of the first things we did was join the Real Estate Standards Organization, and they have a data schema for real estate where it makes sure that we're all using the same data so data can be accurate and consistent. And that actually helps the agent on the ground, like helps you serve the consumer. So the big vision is that all the key players in organized real estate learn about us, love us, support us so that we can support them. And so I'm so thankful that you're part of it and that you love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Well, I hope it was educational or, we learned something
I
today.
learned so much. I'm going to make sure the schools get in there right away.
Just the school.
Yeah, yeah. And as soon as the AI portion that starts suggesting to you what your clients might like that they didn't even know they might like, we'll have to have another scheduled talk here.
Of course. And as always, I love when you hang out with me because I learn new features.
Oh,
Yeah, eventually I'll be 100% capacity on what the app can do.
I don't know. We keep adding stuff all the time. It might just be a
The
continual
learning curve.
It's just a surprise. It's a nice surprise every time I see you. I learn something new about the app.
Thank you. And every time I see you, I learn more about where to go with it. So you make it get better. Thank you.
I think that's what,
Will differentiate you from other people is the fact that you really do want the agent's input
Yeah.
on what the app needs to do next to be
Yeah.
able to grow and outperform what else is out in the industry right now.
Yeah, and on that note, the things we do at the data level and the organizations we're part of actually raises the bar for us and our competitors because it's actually really important for me to fairly compete. A lot of the products out there, for example, that come from an MLS, they pick a one-hit wonder. It may not be the best, and then that's all they can offer you. That's why I think this openness to front end of choice is really important because you as the agent need to know that you're getting all the choices, right? Like anybody who doesn't know they should use listed, one of the things I say sometimes if they think they don't want it is just open up all the other apps you have and try to do the same task in all of them and include listed in that. I don't even have to say anything. You try it. So, thank you.
Anytime.
Okay.